Welcome back to Marine Tech Center. Another One Ocean update. The boat that is sailing around the Americas, including, I think my favorite part will be up here in the Northwest Passage next summer. But this is this video, we're getting ready to move the boat out of Marine Tech after about 5 months. It's going to go down to Seattle Yachts, and we're going to put the rig back on. It's time. You've seen the videos with the chain plates and all that work we've done, so that'll be super exciting. So I'm going to go around the boat and show you all the other stuff that we've been up to. Captain, why are they hammering on your boat?
Well, we've done hundreds of hours of labor and thousands of dollars worth of work to One Ocean, and doing a resurvey before it goes back in the water just to make sure everything is as it should be. That there's, not a hollow spot. We've filled and fared and done everything, and it's just the right thing to do before it goes back in the water.
But Captain, what's going on over here? I want to see your...
Look at this life-changing experience here. See this?
See this?
This winch used to be up on the deck in the front. You had to go up there to do anything. Now it's right here. And it's electric, and the electrics are on for the first time in how many months?
About 4
months.
Maybe. What about this one?
We have electrons.
The bottom one? Oh yeah, all right.
And then focus on that one. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work, I know. That one's been rebuilt, the motor and the gearbox, so we'll put it together soon.
Reassembled, and that, look, the boat's coming alive. Yay!
Yay. Let's go check the anchor winch.
This is, all right, turn it on down there.
It's on down there. I turned them all on.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Feels more like winter. The boat is coming alive. The batteries are all hooked up, main battery bank.
Should we go up or down?
Let's go up. Look at that.
Look how quiet it is.
Nice.
Let's see if this is down.
2-speed. Yeah. Forward up.
It's all working. It's all working.
I see the anchor down there and the chain. We'll have to pull that up today.
Pull that up. The anchor locker's been painted, so we have to go make sure it's dry.
It's a great week. Open house Saturday.
Yeah,
show this thing off. Okay, in the engine room, we've cleaned up the fuel system and done a bunch of labeling and whatnot. When I say we, that was, that was Tech Tim doing all that fancy work. But we made it better. First thing we did is we've disconnected the Hurricane furnace, which was just teed into the supply line, which isn't the way it's supposed to do. We're going to run that back over to its own tank. But on the fuel side of things, so what we have is, right now we have, you can open up any of the 3 tanks for supply. This is the port that's open, and we're going to return to port, let's say. And normal fuel would go through this valve, and then through the Anacortes, through the secondary filter, and to the newly rebuilt high pressure fuel pump. But what we can do is we can close this valve and put this new transfer pump in line, which works for a couple of different things. So for example, when you change the Anacortes, you can just turn this thing on and it will actually just fill the Anacortes for us. Right? How slick is that? And get all the air out. And then it'll also fill the secondary filter when we do a filter change for that. Super cool. And when we get down, like the port tank holds a couple 100 gallons of fuel and we're worried about running out, well then we can transfer it to the last tank that we use will be the starboard aft. So we could actually go like this and transfer the last 10-15 gallons out of the port, put it into starboard. So we can transfer fuel. If we actually left it port to port, it would polish the fuel. And so much better fuel management system on this boat for getting ready to go around the Americas. Spade anchor, look at that. Mr. Captain Mark got it all wire brushed, cleaned up and painted. It's a classic Spade. Everybody loves these anchors. The trouble is they do eventually rust. And so, it'll look a little better, but we're going to use it a lot. So, but putting it back on the boat tomorrow. Yeah. So the life raft we took off when we brought the boat in here, we thought it had to be repacked. And of course we get it down, looked at it. No, it's good for another year and a half. Viking, great rafts. We just reinstalled it yesterday because we don't want to do that down at the marina. Up in the front of the boat, we moved the box of anchor chain. It's ready to go. We pulled it off in the fall. We inspected it. The inside of the locker was cleaned and painted, and the electric winch worked. So we're going to pull that up into place. Okay, down in here, it's a little dark and cramped, but we removed the golf cart batteries and put in these new Victron AGMs. They stacked in perfectly. We're still working on some of the distribution, but we have the battery bank alive. We've got our battery monitor going. That's a little echo charger to keep the start battery charged. And then we're putting in Link's distributor up here, one or two, because we're going to be adding in the Watt&C for charging. We're going to be adding in solar. We're going to be leaving from this bank to the back battery bank with a couple of DC to DC chargers and stuff like that. So we got a lot more electrical to do, but we got new batteries in and we got the electrical system online. So for instance, we've got, look at that, we've got lights down here that now work and some other lights. Let's go check it out. So all that noise back here was getting the battery mounts in for the new Battleborn power for our science and education. So back in here under each bunk and in the middle we're gonna have 3 or 4 of those new awesome batteries, the Game Changer 3.0s, and then the separate inverter. We'll cover the electrical later, but right now before launch we're trying to get all the heavy stuff, and before we got to lug it down the dock, installed on the boat. And then crew's got, this is what we're going to do for battens on the ceiling. Looks really nice. Oh yeah, and Lumitech again. Look at that. We got red and then off, and then my way will be white, and they're dimmable. Just turn in a little bit of pressure other way. Hold that up maybe. Oh, that's off.
I got it off.
You got it off. Watch this. So if you go this way and come on and click it, it'll stay. And then you can make it even more dim. Even more. If you wait a little bit, you can... When it's all the way dim, it'll come back bright again. Off. Red. Oh, so cool.
Thank you, Lumitech.
That's right.
So, what's going on here?
Well, it looks like you just drilled another hole in the bottom of the boat.
Oh, I did. Yep. Guilty.
It's important. New sea blazers from Lumitech. Lumitech supports our program and the expedition and science, and we're going to have these multicolor underwater lights to attract people at the dock. Wow. And all sorts of fun stuff.
Hold one up there. How's that gonna?
And so it's gonna go right up there, nice and flush. But of course, we got to drill all the holes and fill everything with epoxy and make sure we have watertight integrity. Most important.
Most important.
Most important. But it does come with a very nice little guide here, so we put that in the middle, and we're gonna know. I'm gonna drill another hole right there.
Okay, you can feel it go through the core, through the hole, through the core. You're going all the way through.
All the way through.
Camera went off.
That's all right. It's still recording. It's still recording.
So is this template provided?
Yeah, very nice.
So what has to happen to these holes to protect the core?
Oh, well, we're going to oversize them now, big time. Eat out some of the coring material, thickened epoxy, flood it all, let it cure overnight, and then we'll re-drill. And that way the fasteners are only in epoxy, which is actually laminating both layers of the core material, the core fiberglass together, and there's no balsa core left anywhere in there. So be good for another 30 years.
Excellent.
Okay, down on the lazarette, plenty to do. We haven't hooked up the generator yet because we didn't want to run everything through. We were having this frame built. And so we have this built. We don't have a sound shield because it's in the lazarette and it's got a watertight bulkhead and insulation here. But before we put it in, we got our spare propeller here. We verified that that fits and goes back on the shaft. Of course, this was 3/4 inch. We got to go to 1 inch for the new one. But anyways, built this frame, painted it, bolted it down, and then we're going to put a piece of metal on here just to increase storage. And then it's on our list to replace this shower box. Down in here, you can see the holes that have been filled, core eaten out and everything for the underwater lights. And then we can put the floor back in here. It's all painted. Maybe we're going to replace that bilge pump, but it's coming together. Let's cover that.
All right.
What's going on here, Tim?
We are reinstalling the max prop propeller. Went out for service, got cleaned up, and gonna get back on the boat.
Yeah, some new parts, good to go.
Super shiny.
That's important because before we put it in the water, I think this task should be completed.
That's right. Way easier to do when it's on the hard.
Here, wonder what's going on in there. I hear some fasteners being drilled in. I think that's for battery mounts. How beautiful is that? Thanks, Lab Tech Tim. We took this to PYI. The surveyor had said, you know, there was a little bit of play in the blades. And PYI said, yeah, cruising locally, we could have gotten a little bit more runtime out of the max prop, but for doing 27,000 miles, they said, let's get it tuned up. And so we did. It's all reinstalled and lubed and ready to go. Pretty excited. We're going to put this boat in the water. Over here in the workshop, lots going on. We got to get this cleaned up before open house, and every week or so we try to sort through and clean up and organize, but we've got lots of stuff. Actually, some of this is for the lab. We got 4 new Victron multi-pluses, but all this stuff, Fishery Supply, they come almost every day getting stuff for the project. So this is the multi-plus. This is our second inverter, which is going to power science and education off from the new Battleborn batteries. This is our multi-voltage battery charger. So the boat has 2 hull inlets. The second 240 volt wasn't hooked to anything. And so we're gonna hook that hull inlet into this, which will take anything from, like, I don't know, 90 to 270 volts, 50, 60 cycle, and charge our batteries. So South America will be able to plug in if we want. Been ordering, you know, things like overcurrent protection, fuses there, solar controllers, touch 5s, you name it. I mean, it's a huge project. There's the old solar panels, some of the old hoses, new hoses, power bars. That's more sanitation hole saws. There's the other winch, has been all redone. We're cleaning up, greasing. This is ready to go on. That's the starboard. That's the last of the 4 winches, and it'll work. Epoxies, fun stuff. So as you can tell, it's been quite busy here around Marine Tech getting this boat ready to launch. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to put it in the water next week. Welcome to the Scallywags, located in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, where Skagit Valley College has been training technicians since 1968. If you are looking for industry certification and the skills to work in maritime, this is the place to visit. Our staff will share so much knowledge and experience, you will not be disappointed. The workforce demand is very high, and all of our graduates are working around the world. If this sounds interesting to you, schedule a tour and come check us out.